This is The Gist, the essential podcast for the discerning listener.
Welcome back to The Gist. It is Monday, June 15th, 2026. I'm John.
And I'm Mary. Today, we're looking at the G7 summit in Évian. It's supposed to be the main stage for global power, but the actors are busy looking at the exits.
Let's get straight to the gist view.
Here is the core insight. You cannot project global authority when your domestic house is on fire. The G7 is supposed to be the steering committee for the world economy, but right now, the attendees are more concerned with their own survival than global governance.
Think about the incentives. When institutional investors look at a map, they want two things: growth and predictability. Europe is offering neither. Leadership in these countries is choosing to protect local companies, their national champions, to win votes. That creates regulatory friction.
Exactly. And capital is a liquid. It flows to where there is the least resistance. While European markets deal with bureaucratic stagnation, private capital is sprinting towards strategic American infrastructure, like we saw today with the SpaceX IPO, hitting $75 billion.
It's a simple power analysis. When you make your market hard to operate in, you don't get loyalty. You get an exodus. The G7 isn't dying because of war, it's dying because of a lack of domestic political capacity to make the hard, boring choices needed for growth. Let's get into the global overview. The contrast in capital flows is stunning.
It really is. Start with the SpaceX public offering. It raised $75 billion. That tells you where the smart money believes the future lies, in American space and defense infrastructure.
Compare that to corporate moves in Europe. Sigma Healthcare just killed its $10 billion bid for the retailer Boots. Why? They're running away from the regulatory complexity. And then look at Lubrizol. They're doubling their revenue targets in India over the next 5 years. That is a massive shift. Global capital is voting with its feet. It is choosing high-velocity emerging markets over the G7's regulatory maze.
And this matters because of the math. When Évian hosted this summit back in 2003, G7 nations controlled over 60% of global GDP. Today, it's below 44%, according to UNCTAD. That's the UN's trade and development body.
They are losing their share of the pie, and they are too distracted by domestic polling to fix it. That brings us to the European perspective, and honestly, it's a rocky scene. Start with the United Kingdom. The resignation of their defence secretary right as the G7 starts is a major blow. It leaves the United Kingdom delegation looking hollow. Allies are stressed because changing defence leads in the middle of a conflict makes intelligence sharing and strategy a mess. It's a systemic weakness. While London struggles, the periphery is taking control. Poland is scrambling jets and hardening its own defences against Russian strikes. They aren't waiting for a G7 consensus. They're building their own security wall. That creates a structural split in NATO. The frontline states are becoming autonomous, while the core G7 capitals like France and United Kingdom are dealing with a different kind of insurgency. Digital populism. It's moved from memes to the bellow sheet. Take Francis Jordan Bardella. He's not just talking about culture, he's promoting to harm France's budget contribution to the European Union. That is a direct attack on the plumbing of the European Union. These movements are figuring out that if you want to break a regional alliance, stop the revolution. You just need to cut the movie. And we're seeing this everywhere on social media. Farage and other insurgent voices are dominating TikTok engagement stats, far outperforming the establishment. They are driving the narrative and they are targeting the fiscal architecture of the West. It's a lot of tension. But, in a strange contrast, we have the evil World Cup. Yes, a bit of a proof. The Netherlands doing the extra curl in the cup in Denmark by swiftly pulls past Tunisia in what way? It's a small, political bubble in a failed political region. It's a reminder that while the geopolitical ground is shifting, the world still keeps spinning. That's our job for today. The temperature is the oil institutional instability, where innovation remains cool and calculated, but can move fast toward the exits of the G7. Do not get distracted by the noise from our incentives. We'll be back tomorrow to help you connect the dots. Thanks for listening.
The Gist, News Digest, and podcast are entirely written and produced by artificial intelligence. The Gist is out 3 times a day, every day, providing you with a liberal perspective on what to expect next. For more information and donations, visit thegist.online. Thank you for listening.